My name's Sophie Morgan, I'm from the UK. I am an artist, I am a designer, I am an aspiring TV presenter, I'm a campaigner for disability issues, and I'm a wheelchair user. Lots of different things. But in general, I think if I could let everybody know something about somebody in a wheelchair, it's that they are exactly the same as anybody else. They have the same dreams and difficulties in many ways, and it shouldn't be so terrifying.
Do you remember if people treat you differently now than they used to?
Yeah, I do notice the difference in how people consider me now that I'm in a chair. And nothing's happened to my mind. The only thing that's changed is I can't walk. Nothing's happened to my ability to think and speak. That should not stop how people interact with you. It really shouldn't. Yes, of course, they have to be more considerate or courteous or perhaps more sensitive if not comfortable talking about what happened to them. But in many ways, you should not have to talk down to somebody. I'm kind of used to it, and actually it's always fun to break down those barriers. It's always fun to sit with someone that has a perception of what I'm going to be and then to change it because they just didn't realise it.
What has been the hardest part for you?
I think the hardest thing for me is having to exist in this environment that isn't considering how disabled people exist. And that is wrong. And that's what I would like to try and change, I think. So that's the hardest thing, is that it's kind of also out of my control that I've got to wait for policies to change. But I'm very interested in trying to help change perceptions of disability in the high street and in the fashion industry. And so my project, actually, which I'd started independently of before I met with Izzy, was this idea of bringing a wheelchair, put it into an in-store display or a shop window display, and it kind of represents this category of people that I'm now part of, this disabled community. Imperfect was started in the UK after there was a quite high-profile case of a girl who worked for Abercrombie & Fitch who was fired because she was wearing a prosthetic arm. I kind of approached her with the incentive of using her media coverage as a positive sort of platform to springboard into something cool. And I came up with this idea of, imperfect. The word, what that word means, is very interesting. I thought the play on it was really fun. I'm perfect and imperfect and what's perfect. And we started kind of with the idea of drawing attention to disabled people that are very, very inspirational, that are doing incredible things with their lives and have not let their disability get in the way. Stand up for yourself and go and get help, and there are people to give you help. It's all about young disabled people. It's all about helping them to be able to help themselves.
Give me one or two things that really annoy you.
I think that some of the most frustrating things and things that drive me mad are when people don't talk to you and talk to the person you're with. That really irritates me. And I think also people saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, it's so sad, I'm so sorry for you," that does grate me a little bit, but I've formed a kind of big mouth, so I stand up for myself if people annoy me. If someone is in a disabled parking spot and they're not disabled, you can have a lot of fun with that. I remember one time we were outside a shop, a food shop, and my friend had gone in to get some food, and we were parked in the car, and this big family of people, and I could not see any disability there. They didn't have a badge or anything like that. I just was a bit confused, and they didn't know that I was in a wheelchair because I'm sat in the car. And they went into the shop, and we covered their whole car with food that we just bought. They were being so inconsiderate, and I just kind of laugh at it now. Like, you can't fight with people if they're going to be that ignorant. I've developed the mentality that if you want people to understand that what they're doing is wrong and what they're doing is unfair, you have to explain it properly to them. It's just if you go up and say, "Look, I hope you understand that I, as a wheelchair user, need this space because it gives me more room so I can get in and out of my car, or I need to be a little bit closer because I can't access the shop otherwise." Things like that are, people don't quite realise, so you have to kind of, I think, explain it a little bit before you yell or throw food at their car.